crime, increased thefts, and drug offenses. Major cities hit hardest. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel, the channel where I like to talk about the good, the bad, all we have to know about Italy. Mainly, I focus from Monday to Friday about properties for sale in Italy. I analyze a bit the Italian market, but so usually on Sunday I read the most interesting article of the week written on the most important outlets in Italy. So today, as you see by the title, I'm talking about the bad. So I'm focusing about the crime in Italy. Now, when we are talking about Italy, we think about La Dolce Vita, we think about the sea, the beautiful food, but it's not everything roses, what we say in Italian. So let's talk a bit about the crime and why. Because I found a very interesting article written by one of the most important outlets in Italy called Il Sole 24 Ore. Generally, they talk about economy. Crime is also part of the economy. I will share the link of this article that you can translate in English under the comment section. Under the description. Is a very interesting article. I will recommend everyone to read it. Anyway, I will just read a few paragraphs just to have an idea about the crime situation. Now, why this article is extremely interesting? Because it's making a list of 106 cities, metropolitan cities in Italy, and it's showing in order which one is the most dangerous, let's say, the one with the highest crime rate and the one with the lowest crime rate. So where do you want me to start? From the highest crime rate or from the lowest crime rate? Now let's start from the highest crime rate. All right. And so I also shared on my Facebook group, Italy, a place to love. I will ask you also to join. I always like to share interesting articles or anyway, everything about Italy. So I share the index of criminality in Italy. So you have the list of these 106 cities. Let's start from the top 10. Okay, the top 10 cities with the highest crime rate. Now, this crime is calculated by 100,000 inhabitants. So the percentage out of 100,000 inhabitants for each city. To make the statistic, because each town, each city has different amount of inhabitants. So the crime reported out of 100,000. Okay, who do we have on the top of the list? So on the top of the list with the highest crime rate, we have Milano, the beautiful Milano, the fashion town, the fashion city, the fashion where all the city where all the millionaires of all the world now are moving their residence. So Milano. Anyway, Milano is a big city. Obviously, we can expect to have a very high crime rate. Anyway, we'll see now during the article. Then, on the second place, we have Firenze, Florence. Now, very touristic city. Not one of the big enough, but not one of the biggest in Italy. So, on the second place, we have Firenze. That is even before Rome. So on the third place, we have Roma, the eternal city. But obviously, we can expect, to have Milan and Rome. Anyway, on the top of the list. Then on the fourth place, we have Bologna. Now, Bologna, we are talking about Emilia-Romagna region. Bologna is a beautiful town. I've been there many, many times. It looks to me a quite safe city. Obviously, we are talking not about a city that is over 1 million inhabitants. Like Florence, we are under 1 million. And so I'm a bit surprised, for example, to see this town, this city at the fourth place. Okay. Then obviously it's interesting because this list it's also dividing the towns by the area. Let's say the north of Italy, the center of Italy, and the south of Italy. So Milan, first place, we are in the north. Florence, second place, we are in the center of Italy. Rome, third place, we are in the center of Italy. Then Bologna, we are in the north. Bologna is already considered north of Italy. I always put in between, north and center. But then on the fifth place, we have a very touristic destination, Rimini. Have you ever heard about Rimini? Anyway, Rimini is one of the most wanted destination, in particular by the Italians during the summer months. And we are still in Emilia-Romagna region, so still part of the north of Italy, fifth place. At the sixth place, we have my native town. So I was born in Torino, the beautiful romantic city. So Turin is at the sixth place. We are talking about a city that has nearly 1 million inhabitants. Anyway, the crime rate is quite high in Torino. I witnessed this many times during my life, but obviously I witnessed crime everywhere. This is something to discuss. Maybe I will discuss at the end of the video about the fact that we technically cannot avoid crime. We witness this everywhere we are in the world. So obviously we have safer places. Obviously we have more dangerous places. Anyway, then at the seventh place, I'm surprised to find a not very famous town or city, which is called Prato. Now, Prato, we are in Tuscany region. So we are in the center of Italy. Torino, the sixth place, we are in the northwest of Italy. So Prato is not a big town, it's not a big city. I guess probably has more than 100,000, maybe 200,000. I'm not very familiar with this town. I never been myself before. So we have Prato, the seventh place. Then we have Venezia at the eighth place. Okay, Venice, another very touristic city in the north of Italy, Veneto region. Then we have another town in Tuscany, so Livorno. Livorno is a town on the sea. It's well known for the port, but anyway, beautiful area anyway. But so is at the ninth place. Then at the 10th place, we have Livorno is in the center, Tuscany. Then we have at the 10th place, we have Genova. So Genova, the capital of Liguria region. Okay, so these are the top 10. As we notice now, there's something straightforwardly coming to my attention that in the top 10, there's no town or city in the south of Italy. That's very, very interesting. Maybe I should make another video just about talking about why the crime rate is much lower in the south of Italy than in the north. This is a big question that I have to myself. I'd say crime is everywhere. Then I should also talk about my personal experience of me living in a small town, 1,000 inhabitants, in the south of Italy, in Basilicata region. What is my experience with the crime? Anyway, now I want to go and read a bit of this article, only a few paragraphs. Okay, it says the proportion of crimes detected by police forces in metropolitan cities is also growing. So Milan, Rome, Florence occupy the top three in the new edition of the Il Sole 24 Ore Crime Index, reported by this outlet that every year is making these statistics by the crime reported to the police, which measure reports per 100,000 inhabitants. At the top three cities account for, and the top three cities account for 23.5 of the reported crimes. So nearly one fourth of all the crimes reported in Italy are in these top three, these cities in the top 10, these three cities in the top 10. Then Bologna, Rimini, and Torino and Turin follow, where also in this case, the daily passage of hundreds of city users and tourists fuels the stock of complaints. Now, this is a very interesting sentence because city users and tourists. That means that probably where there are more tourists, generally there's higher crime rate. Probably. Maybe the criminals see the tourists as, let's say, easily can take advantage of them, so they might commit more crimes. So that's why touristic places have these higher numbers. Then the national trend. Now there is a little paragraph. Now, while we wait to see what impact the Meloni government's hardline will have, if we have any hardline, I don't know. To understand how crime is changing in Italy, it's necessary to look beyond annual fluctuation and at long-term trends. Obviously, you cannot change everything in one day, with a particular focus on the evolution of the geography of criminal offenses. Now, in 2024, this paragraph is quite important because it describes different type of crimes committed. In 2024, thefts accounted for 44% of reported crimes, a 3% increase year over year. Specifically, the highest increase were residential burglaries. Now, plus 4.9%. I'd say this is one of the crime where Italians are more concerned about. The residential burglaries. So house protection is in the Italian mind. So always protect your home, protect your wealth. So try to prevent residential burglaries, which is seems like is one of the most reported crime in the cities that I just said. So there is this trend. Then we have car theft. Okay. Then we have snatching theft. Now, snatching theft, let's see the translation for snatching theft. Okay, furto di rapina. Okay, snatching theft. Then theft involving dexterity. I don't know this. Theft involving dexterity. Let me check. Theft involving dexterity. Let me see. Furto che implica destrezza. Okay, theft involving dexterity. This is another type of crime committed. Plus 0.6%. We always need to put this data into perspective. An important person reminds us, compared to 2014 statistics, he explains, theft are still down 33%. So there is a kind of decrease if we compare to 2014, more than 10 years ago. In practice, over the long term, the most recent trends indicate substantial stability, particularly with certain types of crimes on the rise. And these specificities should not be underestimated. The highest increases were in street crimes. Okay, but street crimes, anyway, these type of crimes are a problem everywhere. Maybe some places have left of one and more of another one, but street crimes, anyway, yes, there is an increase, in particular, obviously, in the big cities, including robberies, plus 1.8%, drug-related crimes, plus 3.9%. Yes, a lot of crime is drug-related. Sexual assault, It has a quite good increasing, like 7.5%. I guess, again, we are talking about these cities. Intentional injuries increased by 5.8, while damages increased by 1.6. Contradictory trends, including smuggling, minus 38%, arson, minus 5.3, and cyber fraud, minus 6.5, which reversed the trend dictated by the spread of digital technologies. Okay, anyway, these are the type of crimes committed in Italy. Again, what else can I say? Before I'm talking about the cities with less crimes, I just want to spend a few words about, again, that is impossible to have a place where there's no crime at all. Now, my personal perspective from a small town in the south of Italy, I have the feeling that crime doesn't exist. I seriously have this feeling. In 1 year and a half that I'm in Italy, I never personally experienced any type of crime, not even witness when I was traveling, when I was going around, when I'm going around. So it's a strange perception. Now, I don't want to say that there's no crime here, because then I heard about, oh, that happened. I can also say that recently there was a stabbing, was a family stabbing, for example. There were probably a dispute in the family, I don't know. Then I heard as well about some burglaries, so some theft burglaries in the houses, or car theft in neighboring towns, or here, even here. Let's say I only heard about this. I never witnessed anything like that, but again, anyway, it doesn't exist, the perfect place. But I have to say that overall, this feeling of safety here personally is very high in this small town. And even when I was in all the small towns, generally in the south of Italy, wherever I go, not even in Naples, I felt pressure of being robbed. Even walking with my luggages through Naples station, I go each time I travel. So in Rome was already different. When I was in the Rome metro, I already had the perception. I saw some shoplifters. So anyway, okay, now let's focus on the towns, the cities with less crime in Italy, in between all these 106 towns. So let's start from the one at the 106th place, Oristano. Who knows Oristano? Do you know this town, Oristano, where Oristano is? Now, Oristano, we are in Sardinia. We are in the south of Italy. Sardinia, they put in the south of Italy. Anyway, Sardinia is one, Oristano is considered one of the provinces, of these municipalities, of these towns with less crime than all the 106 towns. Then 105th place, we have the one where I'm living, the province where I'm living. So I'm at the bottom of this list. So considering Potenza, one of the safest places with less criminality. I've been to Potenza several times in the last year, 3, 4 times. Not a feeling, nothing, zero, zero. I have to say, zero feeling of crime around me. Then again, I'm not saying that there's no crime, but the feeling is completely safety. And in all the towns around, because I'm in Potenza province, Montemilone is in Potenza province, all the towns that I visit, I never seen any sort of crime. I see people very relaxed. I see women walking on their own most of the times of the day without any problems, children playing till late on their own, children going to school on their own. So the same type of lifestyle that I remember when I was a child, for example. Okay, then 104 place, we have Benevento. Benevento, again, we are in the south of Italy. We are in Campania region. Now, I love Benevento. It's a beautiful town and also extremely safe. Uh, Even if we are in Campania, even if we are in the south of Italy. Now, for now, these three cities are all in the south of Italy. Then 103 place, 103rd place, we have Enna. Enna, if you don't know, is in Sicily. So we have Oristano, Sardinia, Potenza, Basilicata, Benevento, Campania region, Enna, Sicily. Okay, then we have Sondrio. Now we go to the north of it, to the safest northern Italian cities, and we have Sondrio, Treviso, and Pordenone. Now, Sondrio is in Lombardy region. A bit, it's at the border with Switzerland. Also considered very safe place. I've been there, and I never noticed any type of crime. Treviso, we are in Veneto region. So where Venice is the capital of Veneto region, so not very far we have Treviso. Then there is Pordenone. Pordenone, we are at the border with Slovenia, so Friuli, Venezia Giulia region. Then we go back again to the south of Italy. We are talking about Cosenza. Now, Cosenza is in Calabria. Then we go back to the north of Italy, Cuneo. Cuneo is in Piemonte region, another beautiful town. I've been there. So, and then we go back to the south, again in Sicily, Agrigento. So now, despite of all the stereotypes that we might have, that you might have abroad when we're talking about the south of Italy, the majority of the top 10 with less crimes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities out of 10 are in the south of Italy, considered the safest. And then we have 4 cities in the north: Sondrio, Treviso, Pordenone, and Cuneo. Then we have a long list of southern Italian cities and an average of the central Italian cities. In the top 30, I recommend you to have a look at this list. Okay, I'm gonna share on my Facebook group, Italy a Place to Love. You can have a look to this post that I just shared, and also under the description of the video, I will share the article that I've just read, a few paragraphs. This article is in Italian, but you can easily translate in English, and you can see. And anyway, it's an interesting article. Doesn't take too much to read it, and you can understand about the crime in Italy. Here again, going back to where I am, I can say that there is a lot of people are concerned a lot about car theft. So the two crimes that people are more concerned here in the south of Italy is not drugs related, is not theft, dextery, or robberies, let's say. Theft involving dextery, no, not at all here. Theft, robbery, no. Snatching, theft, no. What do we worry a lot here are residential burglaries and car theft. These are the things that people are more concerned. Then there's no mentioning about, for example, mafia, crime related. Anyway, or there's no street crime here, practically zero, including robberies, zero. Where I am, I'm talking. Drug-related crimes, zero. Sexual assault, zero. Intentional injuries, maybe. Damages, maybe a tiny bit. Damages could be mafia related, for example. Contradictory trends included smuggling, zero, this type of. Anyway, I will share the article from Il Sole 24 Ore. Crime, increased theft and drug offenses. Major cities hit hardest. Again, the north of Italy is the one that is more affected, simply because a lot of immigrants as well, a lot of poverty. There's more where there is more poverty, we always have more crime. There is this relation. Again, my friends, I hope you found this video quite interesting. Maybe I should talk more about the crime if I find, the good, the bad. All we have to know about Italy, but we cannot hide the bad. As I was saying, car theft, for example, is something that people are very concerned. Everyone wants to have their own garage or safety of the property with cameras outside. So safety is the main thing, in particular of your belongings. Then all the crimes that I described, that there are no worries at all here, and so on, like drug smuggling or so on. Okay, my friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you here on Italy, a Place to Love YouTube channel tomorrow, Monday, from Monday to Friday, back to properties for sale here in Italy. All right, my friends, have a nice day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.